Greetings and welcome to the Great Experiment, episode number 1. As we get older, it can sometimes be difficult to remember certain things. This is my attempt to try to remember things as they happen, moving forward in life. So here we go. Today, as we look back over the weekend, top headline, J.J. Abrams, who has revived the Star Trek franchise, has announced that he will in fact be directing the new Star Wars film, which I'm not sure how I feel about. People are on the fence about it. Some feel very strongly one way, others feel very strongly the other way. I'm, as I said, on the fence about it. We'll see what happens. I love what the man has done with the Star Trek franchise. Hopefully he can take the polished turd that has become the Star Wars franchise and turn it around into something nicer. I just hope that Mr. Abrams begins to refrain from using that really cool shot where, you know, somebody's going over a cliff and we watch them go over and we follow them down a little ways. That's really cool. He did it in the first Star Trek franchise film that he did a few years ago. Apparently it's going to happen again in the next one. Enough's enough. Quit while you're ahead. It's a great effect. Don't overdo it. Don't kill it. Weather today started out kind of wacky. We had school delays left and right because of freezing rain. It is now sunny and gorgeous outside, and we're headed for highs in the upper 40s. The temperature tonight won't go any lower than, say, 41 or so. Tomorrow, however, sunshine, 62 degrees for a high, so that's going to be kind of nice. The weather sparked a nice little sinus headache for me this morning. I'm sure I'm not alone in that, which brings us to something really neat. Found an image on Facebook the other day, or a series of images called life hacks. I'm sure you've probably seen some of these. Some of them are really, really cool, like today's. For example, take a look at this. You take a sponge, you wet it, you put it into a Ziploc bag, you freeze it, and boom, you've got an ice pack that will not melt and cause a mess all over the place. I'm not entirely sure that's true, because let's face it, when the condensate from the inside of the bag to the outside of the bag happens, you might end up with a little bit of a wet mess, but it's worth a try. Also, if you don't have that, or you want to spend a little bit of money, I highly recommend these little guys. They're called Frog Togs, as you can see. It's a cooling chili pad towel, the Frog Tog. You wet this in hot water. You put it over your face or whatever part of your body needs to be cooled down, and it's instant cool, and it stays that way like forever. Kind of nice. Looking around Facebook, we see some things on the wall. Our friend Regina Sutphin, also known as Regina Flincham for those CHS alumni back in the day, and folks around town. Regina Flincham Sutphin has a good vibes request, or a prayer request, if you will. Apparently her son, her youngest, poked himself in the eye yesterday, says it feels worse today than it did when he actually did the poking, so they're taking him to an ophthalmologist to see what's going on. Fingers crossed, send some good vibes their way, if you don't mind. Elsewhere on Facebook, my buddy Norm reminds us that it was on this day in 1986 that the Space Shuttle Challenger exploded shortly after takeoff, so he also asks the question, where were you then? I was at my brother's apartment. It was a snow day. I remember it well. I got a phone call. Somebody said, hey, did you hear the space shuttle blew up? And I thought it was a joke at first, and then I turned on the news coverage, and there it was. Awful, awful thing, awful thing. My buddy Philip Morris Johnson II, another school pal from the gone-by days of CHS, reminds us that it is, in fact, Super Bowl week. It's not just Super Bowl Sunday anymore. Apparently, we have to take the whole week to celebrate. So it is Super Bowl week, and I only wish that your team of choice utterly destroys and annihilates the other guys, especially if we happen to agree on which team that should be. So there you go. Meanwhile, Norm would have us believe that it is, in fact, not just Super Bowl week, but Superb Owl week. Aha. And that will do it for today. We'll try this again tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel. You can catch this on Facebook or at YouTube/AB Voices TV. Until the meantime, I hope you have a great Monday. And remember, pay no attention to that man behind the curtain.